So, first of all, I'm sure you are familiar now with this data and these figures. So you already know that as LaSalle, we are present in 80 countries all over the world with more than 1,000 educational centers. That means kindergarten, primary and secondary schools, up to university, but also vocational training centers or social works and different kind of projects and activities to ensure access to our Lasallian education. There are more than 1 million students like you in these 80 countries, but half of them live in multidimensional vulnerabilities. It means that they are in certain countries or contexts where they face everyday challenge in access to the right to education, in the right to go to school. And the mission of our foundation, as well as Brother James and other 40 Lasallian NGOs all over the world, is to support these educational centers and these kids and ensure the right to good school and the access to our Lasallian quality education. So here is our team, but we don't do what you will see alone because we work very closely with a network of Lasallian no-profit and charity organizations located all over the world to create projects that support the most vulnerable children and youth entrusted to our care. And I'm very happy today to share some of these stories with you. So, as I mentioned, our mission as Lasallians is to ensure access to education for all. And one nice example of this is one of the latest schools of the Lasallian family, that is the LaSalle School Rumbek in South Sudan. South Sudan is the youngest nation because it became independent in 2011 after a long war with Sudan, and now it is facing a civil war, an internal conflict in Sudan, where the different ethnic groups are fighting. And there is a lack of educational infrastructure, and there are millions of kids your age that cannot access to school because there aren't school because of the war. So as Lasallians, we have built a brand new school for them in Rumbek, that is a rural and isolated area of South Sudan. And I will let now one of our students to explain you a little bit more.
This school was established by the Secretariat of Solidarity and Development. We are so proud and so excited to have now dormitories, classrooms, and beautiful cafeteria.
This school is a boarding school. That means that our over 300 students live here. And this was for them a very important opportunity, not only to go to school and access education, but also to getting to know each other, the different ethnic groups of South Sudan. And I let one of our students to tell you more about it.
Hello, I am Montenegro Sande Moromokwe from Senior 3 Arts. In my hopes, I really need to be a better person in this country and change South Sudan. As you know, LaSalle has done a lot in my life. Before, South Sudan is really deeply rooted in cultural beliefs, like boys are not even allowed to be close to the kitchen. But LaSalle is trying his best. Like right now, I know how to cook. During graduation, I go to the kitchen and cook, and that's what I like mostly. And it has helped me to associate with a lot of people, different kinds of tribes, like Nuer and Equatorians, and even Egyptians and some of the LaSalle brothers. I can talk with them and feel that they're human beings. But before LaSalle, I was like, Dinkas are the only people in the world. LaSalle has brought us together. We're living in peace. I thank you for that. And my hopes, I really want to continue with the work that LaSalle has shown me. Living a brotherhood life and moving on in peace. And I need to be a pilot one day, at least fly to America and bring people back. That's to make you live in peace. Thank you so much.
When he said Dinka is one of the ethnic group I was talking about, and he shared how important it was for him to be in a school where everyone is accepted and he can learn new things and be in touch with people that he didn't knew before. But another reason why kids are facing challenges to go to school. Sometimes it's the distances or belonging to a specific minority group or ethnic group that are often excluded to education. This is the case of some minorities groups in Vietnam, where we built a new school for them that hosts Vietnamese and from different groups all together living in the school, since this one is to a boarding school, and overcoming together all the stereotypes that and discrimination that kids face.
My name is Mai Ho Linh Uyên.
And my name is Nguyễn Thành Ly. We live in Dak Min Thao.
And we are studying in class 8A4 at John Wiki High School.
According to statistics in 2020 at Dak Min district, we are 0.4% children can go to school,
in which children in mountainous area or poor household take a high rate.
When do you know what's the main cause of this situation?
As I know, poverty is the most mentioned factor. Lots of parents and their children have an idea to support them working instead of going to school, especially in mountainous area or extremely difficult and backward economic region.
Our Chumki High School also organized a lot of volunteer activities. In 2019, Chumki School and students also visited orphanage in Thuận An, donating books, toys for children there.
And at the end of the years, brothers and teachers often go to recruit children in disadvantaged area, completely exempt for school fees and support their family on many holidays.
Learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together and learning to be.
This is our slogan of our school, as well as a declaration that promotes the passion of learning.
So these are your classmates from all over the world. And in Vietnam, the Lasallian mission is starting again, and there are more and more schools that are hosting students in the most vulnerable context of the country. Another reason that prevent kids from going to school is, of course, forced displacement. And conflicts and wars create serious obstacles for children to continuing their path to education. And this is an example, this project is an example on how LaSalle responds to this. In Lebanon, there is a small Mediterranean country between Syria and Israel. There is the Fratelli project run together with the Marist brothers, where Lasallians and Marists create new educational opportunities for refugee children escaping from the war in Syria or from Palestine, and they go to Lebanon with nothing and living in refugee camp, as you will see, and there is no school for them because they speak different languages or they don't have the same skills as their peers, and so they cannot access the level according to their age. And so Lasallian and Marist created this project to help the little ones to catch up and the biggest one to form for their future. And also single mothers and alone mothers are supported with vocational training. These now that you can see are the refugee camps where Syrians live. And even today, this video is recorded in 2019, but even today, in 2024, refugees from Syria and Palestine still live in these fragile conditions. And this is the Fratelli, where everyone is accepted and can attend the school and receive the educational opportunity to change their future and don't let the war or the conflict put their future on hold or steal their future. So every morning, the bus from Fratelli, goes to the refugee camps, and bring these children back to school. And now I would like them to say to you, what does the Fratelli project mean to them? They say that in Arabic, but you can read the subtitles.
ناكل عند المطبخ، نلعب بالملعب، تعلمنا. بحب فريتلي اللي هو بالصف، بنروح ناكل. بحب الطابة لما نلعب مع بعضنا. نجي على فريتلي نتعلم بفريتلي، نلعب مع بعض.
I like to start again.
ناكل عند المطبخ، نلعب بالملعب، تعلمنا. بحب فريتلي اللي هو بالصف، بنروح ناكل. بحب الطابة لما نلعب مع بعضنا. نجي على فريتلي نتعلم بفريتلي، نلعب مع بعض، نلعب بالباسكت مع بعض. نعمل نشاط بفريتلي، نلعب مع بعض بالمراجيح، نتعلم بفريتلي. بنحب كتير فريتلي، نلعب مع بعض. بنحب فريتلي كتير. فريتلي بحبها كتير. بحب فريتلي كتير. بحب فريتلي كتير.
So imagine that without Fratelli, these kids would spend their days alone or in the vulnerable condition of the refugee camp. But with Fratelli, they are kids again. They can overcome the traumas of war and whatever they have seen and just be kids and enjoy their classrooms and education and play again. And they do a lot of sports and activities that support their educational and emotional journey. And we are mirroring this project also in Venezuela, in Colombia, for Venezuelan migrants escaping the poverty of their country. But Lasallian foundations all over the world not only create these kind of projects, but they also promote formation and training for teachers, so that especially in vulnerable contexts, they are aware of children's rights and they can promote and be champions of children's safeguarding and dialogue with the families to promote a healthier education for their children. And this is the case of one of our projects in Peru, South America.
Cada año formamos a cientos de estudiantes, profesores, padres y madres de familia sobre los derechos de la niñez y abogamos por la protección frente a la violencia de los niños, niñas y adolescentes. Esto lo llevamos a cabo junto con el Secretariado de Solidaridad y Desarrollo de Roma.
Peru is one of the countries where children's safeguarding is most important to prevent violence at home and to encourage a healthier education also at school. And so this is why these kind of projects where we train the teachers are very important, not only for the school itself, but also to foster a new sense of education in their own family. But another reason that prevents kids from going to school is also being a girl or a woman. In many countries, girls and women cannot have the same rights of boys and men, especially in education. And this is the case of, for example, the Democratic Republic of the Congo in Central Africa, where we have one of our schools, like this one, that is called Kunda Diazai in Tumba. In this country, half of the girls between 5 and 17 years old are excluded from education. And only 1 out of 10 of these girls enrolled in primary education access secondary education. And the reasons are different, mainly rooted in a traditional vision of women and families are not willing to invest also in women education. So this is why every year we support scholarships for 80 girls, primary and secondary school girls, in the frame of a larger program to empower women and to create a dialogue with families on the importance of education. And for those women who already had to leave school, for those girls, adolescents mainly, that had to leave school, we are now proposing training in sewing, as you can see, but also in agriculture, so that we can support these women and empower them to go back to school, attend again literacy classes, and be trained to a specific job so that they can be autonomous and really go back to have their future in their hands and to fulfill their dreams and become whoever they want. So these projects impact hundreds of girls and women every day, but LaSalle in each and every project supports access to women in education and girls in education. Finally, one of the latest projects that I would like to share with you is about sustainability and environment. Because another reason that prevents kids from going to school is the lack of natural resources, the lack of food, lack of water. So this is the case of our school in Pozo Colorado, Paraguay, Latin America, where we are building a new water plant for the schools and the community of Pozo Colorado.
Hola a todos, yo soy Adriana.
Yo soy Giovanni.
Hola a todos, yo me llamo Nancy. Somos alumnos de San Isidro Labrador del Pozo Colorado, una ciudad de Paraguay. Estamos grabando este video porque mi escuela necesita de vos
para construir un sistema
de recogida y distribución de agua. Nuestra escuela está en una región árida del Chaco,
donde no hay lagos ni ríos. Y cuando hay sequía en nuestra escuela,
tiene que suspender las clases.
Esta es una escuela internado, residencia estudiantil. Acoge a 220 alumnos. Junto con ellos conviven 37 adultos, entre monitores, docentes, hermanos y hermanas que les acompañamos. La familia, por el hecho de estar trabajando en diferentes estancias del Chaco, no disponen de escuelas cercanas a sus viviendas. Por lo tanto, esta residencia se convierte en su núcleo familiar, en su familia. El tema de la sequía es uno de los principales problemas del Chaco y cuando eso sucede, la escuela queda sin agua, por lo cual tenemos que suspender las clases y enviar a los niños de nuevo con sus familias. Este es el mayor inconveniente y por lo cual solicitamos y pedimos la ayuda para el agua.
Para que podamos seguir en nuestra escuela y tener agua limpia todos los días, la ONG Lasalliana nos ayuda a crear un sistema para recolectar y tratar agua de lluvia.
Detrás de nosotros pueden ver los estanques, donde se recoge agua de lluvia. Esta es la fase 1.
Ahora tenemos que empezar la fase 2 para construir un sistema de purificación de agua y un sistema para el tratamiento y distribución. Pero este proyecto no es solo para nosotros. Las comunidades vecinas también podrán usar el agua.
Estamos hablando de 3.000 personas que gracias a vos podrán tener agua potable. Si nos ayudas, nuestra escuela podrá tener agua potable cada día durante 50 años.
So now we are ultimating phase 2, that means the construction of the water purification plant. And this project is so important because, as you can see, by providing natural resources in a sustainable way, we are also ensuring the right to continue to go to school and stay in school and conclude their school year. And so sustainability not only is a final goal that we can achieve, but also a way to support and to foster other fundamental human rights, like the one to education. So as I shared today, just a little example of the Lasallian projects all over the world, you can see how we try to respond to every different reason why children can continue education or can access education in the first place. So we have talked about gender equality and minorities, displacement, or sustainability. But as Lasallian NGOs all over the world, we are also attentive to respond to major international crises that are occurring, unfortunately, more and more often. One of the latest examples is now the conflict in Lebanon. So many people are displaced because of the conflict in the southern area of the country, and the Fratelli projects that you have seen before is distributing humanitarian aid. Here you can see a picture of our team preparing a food package to distribute to vulnerable families in the area. And also we are supporting our schools in Beirut to do the same for the vulnerable families that lost everything due to the conflict. And there are every week hundreds of families asking for help and support, and they need shelters, medicines, and food, and water, of course. And thanks to the team, we are reaching these people and we are supporting them through this challenging time. But before that, we were very active during the flood in Brazil in June 2024. In this picture, you can see one of our Lasallian schools called the Pau de Pobres, surrounded by water. This flood displaced 500,000 people in the South Brazil, particularly in Porto Alegre and Canoas. And as Lasallians, we respond by creating temporary shelters for these people. In those schools that were still accessible and were not surrounded by water, we hosted 1,600 people during the flood crisis. Previously, I think you might remember the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, and we were there too with humanitarian aid, supporting people in South Syria and in North Syria and South Turkey. In Turkey, we have 3 schools located mainly in Istanbul, and this school organized the collection of humanitarian aid, and we supported that so they could assist these vulnerable people displaced, but also we cooperate to rebuild some infrastructures and schools that were destroyed because of the earthquake. We were also present during the Ukrainian crisis, and so our schools in Europe, in different countries of Europe, hosted Ukrainian refugees, and we provided them with everything they need, like a place to stay, food, and humanitarian aid, but also access to school. And since they were forced to abandon their country, we provide them with lessons in the language of the hosting countries. So Italian lessons, for example, for those refugees here in Italy, and Spanish for those in Spain, and so on, in many countries of Europe. And we were able to support hundreds of students in education in 2022 and 2023. Unfortunately, the war is still ongoing, and many of our schools are still supporting these refugee children in education. And also in 2020, an explosion in the port of Beirut destroyed the center of the city in Lebanon, and 3 of our schools located there. And thanks to the support of the Lasallian family worldwide, we were able to respond, rebuild these schools, and also support vulnerable families that lost their homes due to the explosion. I would like to share with you now a little message of hope and about our mission, that is, the Lasallian mission does not stop. Every year we have a higher number of students like you, a higher number of schools all over the world, and the Lasallian mission grows and grows every year. And here you can see, for example, new schools coming up in Vietnam, in the area that I showed you before. Or, for example, we completed a new university in Ethiopia, but also one in Burkina Faso. Here you can see a new school, the Lasalle Homa Bay in Kenya, but we also just completed a new school in Rwanda, Kigali. And so every year we have more and more schools and students like you from all over the world. So these are just examples of the Lasallian mission and what it accomplishes every day all over the world. We are really responding to the urgent crisis of today, and we find innovative way to make sure that everyone everywhere can access our quality Lasallian education. So thank you so much for your attention today and for having me. And I don't know if there are any questions, I would be very happy to answer. Thank you so much.